These guys are known as the Boers. This photograph was taken in 1888. This is the very first USDA vegetable plant pathology lab. Now these guys have a steep learning curve to go. Not only at this point in time do they not know what DNA is yet, they don't even know what viruses are yet. However, there happens to be two superstars in this photograph. The first is Walter Swingle. Walter Swingle was a genius. He graduates from Kansas State Agricultural College at the age of 16. He's 17 years old in this photograph. He needed a note from his parents to work there. Now, most boys his age are out chasing women. Swingle is chasing citrus. He gets his hands on some limes, lemons, and is totally infatuated with the fruit and actually can envision the possibility of a huge citrus industry in the United States. He also has another vision, and that of setting up acclimation gardens scattered throughout the US, and they would send out plant explorers to other parts of the world to find economic important crops that could do well in the United States, and they would be sent to the acclimation gardens that were closest to the climate where they actually came from. He envisions the plant introduction system. And then he has a friend, David Fairchild. David Fairchild graduates from Kansas State Agricultural College a year later, so these two know each other very well. And Fairchild has a lot of pull in Washington, and they are able to convince the USDA to take over a small department within the US Patent Office and actually create the plant introduction system. This station was the original site of a World War I aerodrome base that was set up during World War I. The United States Army started to see the use of aircraft by the Germans, English, and French as weapons of war. The United States Army had no planes and no pilots. They set up these aerodromes, especially in the South, to train pilots as quickly as possible. You are looking at one of the original runways. All right, the reason this site was chosen right here is because this is Biscayne Bay and the Atlantic Ocean. Between this piece of property and the Atlantic Ocean, there are no barrier islands. Further north, you have Key Biscayne. Further south, you have Soldier Key, Elliott Key, and Ragged Key. Elliott Key is 11 miles long and parallel to the coast. So that allows the warmer air from the Gulf Stream to get on this piece of property any time of the year, which makes it somewhat warmer than anywhere north, south, or west of it. This is a big microclimate. The other reason this site was chosen, because between 28 feet and 30 feet, we can hit fresh water. This is a natural artesian well. Fresh water comes up, and so the other necessity you need for planting is water. It's also our weakest link because of climate change and possibly sea level rise, creating problems with our own irrigation water. In 1929, the Great Depression hits. Franklin Delano Roosevelt becomes the President of the United States and creates the New Deal. He puts together a group called the Civilian Conservation Corps, which is supposed to do work on American infrastructure to keep Americans in jobs. So he calls up David Fairchild, who was at the time working with this station, and he says, "David, do you need anything?" And he goes, "Yeah, you can send these guys." He goes, "What are you going to do with them?" "We're going to build rooms." These rooms are actually specifically meant for cold protection. In Miami, we very, very seldom get a freeze, but if we do during the day, it's 50 degrees, bright and sunny, and that heat is absorbed by these walls all day long. At night, that heat is radiated back, plus these walls act as a windbreak, and this place will stay about 5 to 6 degrees warmer than outside of the walls.